What's up, guys? It's your boy Beethoven. How do you pronounce Beethoven? What's up, guys? It's your boy Mozart, and today we're going to take a look at the best secondary weapons in the game. I made a list of top 5, so be sure to write down your favorite secondary weapon in the comments in case they're not featured on this list already. At number 5, we have Huvanukor, also known as the Microwave. Since release, this weapon has been top tier. It is one of the best status weapons in the entire game. It melts anything and chains to nearby enemies as long as you're hitting your beam. You can build it for raw damage, status, or use it as a primer. Fairly accessible as long as you have good enough build to beat liches, and it's very versatile since you can choose what element you will have on it as base. My Nukor has a magnetic progenitor. Build is pretty straightforward. We have heat and viral. We have radiation as base, and then we have the progenitor bonus. Crit chance of the weapon is pretty bad, but because of the crit damage, you're allowed to build for crit. Secondary Merciless or secondary Deathhead, they're both okay. Number 4, Lex Incarnon. You want to use Lex Prime, since it's the best version available. Shortly after the release of the Incarnon for this weapon, it has become one of my favorites. It hits like a truck, has infinite punch through, and it is AoE. I mean, that on its own sounds ridiculous. As you can see, it just deletes flocks of enemies with one bullet. Fire rate is not that good, it's just the fact that I'm playing Wisp here. That's one con of the gun. But to fit fire rate mods, you would have to make big sacrifice in the build, which I didn't do. Raw damage or slash builds are both viable. The gun has forced impact procs, meaning we get free slash procs, as I will show you from the build. So Lex. What the? Standard raw damage build with the addition of Hemorrhage. Since Lex has forced impact procs, this creates slash procs, and if something happens to magically survive the Lex shot, the slash will finish it off. On Driven we have multi-shot damage electricity. Best roll would probably be crit damage, multi-shot, and toxin. Again, secondary Deadhead or secondary Merciless. If you want to run the identical build with no Riven, just put electricity mod instead. Then we also have a Rivenless viral setup. Feel free to copy if you want to use it. And we have a full beginner setup. Might as well show it off when I already made it. Quick showcase of the evolutions. Number 3, Epitap, the GOAT of status weapons. One of the most used secondary weapons for a reason. Tapshot has a massive AoE and incredible status chance. Almost mandatory for melee builds if you want to go to high level on Steel Path. It has forced cold procs, meaning that it's very good against demolists. Can be used as a primer or a one-tap machine. Secondary Fire is a charge shot that destroys everything in its path with just a cheeky little headshot. The charge shot has insane crit stats, so it's on you how you want to build this gun. Maybe even a hybrid of the two. Not very optimal, but could be fun. And as you can see, I'm playing Wukong here, because the clone can prime the enemies for me, and I can just go crazy on the melee. Pretty funny thing to do. So, Epitap. This is a hit inherit build. Long story short, shoot with Epitap, get some hit procs, and then shoot with your main gun, and those hit procs are gonna be stronger. That's basically how it works. Very simplified. So you want as much hit as possible and as much status chance as possible. Also, multi-shot and fire rate is important. Bane also double dips the hit procs. And then we have viral and radiation. Viral softens up the enemies, and radiation acts as a CC. So basically enemies will start shooting each other instead of shooting you. For the arcane, you probably want to use secondary dexterity, because there's nothing else really that useful. Number 2, a weapon that most of you probably don't even know existed, the Spore Laser Kit Gun. Best AoE raw damage secondary in the game. It one-shots base steel path with ease, and it makes quick work of acolytes too. It's that easy. 1-2 bullets and the room is cleared. Basically Brahma, but secondary and... Huh?
But Alexstream, secondaries don't have hunter munitions, so it probably sucks.
You can shove your hunter munitions up your ass. Anyway, sorry about that. It has unlimited ammo. It's ugly as hell, but hey, at least nowadays we got some pretty cool looking secondary weapon skins. If you haven't built a kit gun yet, let this be your first, you will not regret it. So the components for the Spore Laser are Spore Laser, Splat and Haymaker. Remember, this is important because that's very greatly depending on which you will pick, and these are by far the best. So here we have your standard raw damage build. On the Riven we have multi-shot cold critical damage. Only thing I would change with this Riven would be to put Toxin instead of cold. So you can build it for viral or corrosive, completely up to you. We have Prime Fulmination for the bigger blast radius, secondary Merciless as you probably could have guessed, and Pack Charge so we can have infinite ammo and faster reload. And finally, the number one and only, Jack of all trades, Liatum. Nothing comes even close to this weapon. It's unbelievably broken. If you're struggling with Steel Path, for example, you can quite literally get a Liatum, make a half-assed build, and you will one-shot everything, including Demolists, Void Angels, etc. Honestly, I've noticed that when I bring Liatum to a mission, the enemies spawn less, because they are scared probably. It does millions of damage without setup even. All you have to do is get a couple headshots and evolve it. The amount of ammo you get is also far more than any other Incarnon gun. You can see from the footage that it doesn't ask twice. 2000%. 2000%. Overall, nothing comes even close to Liatum, honestly. This gun might as well be the best gun in the entire game. Can't think of another weapon that's better than Liatum. And finally, the Liatum build. We have Viral Heat. Since we are not going for crit build, we're gonna have just elements and base damage. The Riven is a bit copium, but it's minus crit. We're all about that copium. Best positives would probably be multi-shot damage and any elements from here that you would use, preferably Toxin or Cold. If you don't have a Riven, you can use Scorch instead. And secondary Merciless or Deathhead, whatever you prefer. The evolutions for the non-crit build go like this. Well, that pretty much sums up the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to see you in the next one.